Hello everybody, it's your boy Nick Noodles coming at you with another great video. This one I'm going to be talking more about this 2009 Varsity Red Dunk that I got. I did like an unboxing and a quick look at them in a previous video, but in this one I want to go more in depth about the shoe, some things I wish I had known before buying like a vintage pair of shoes, some things to look for, and like how you can make these feel brand new even if it's like 20 or 30 years old. Before we get into that, I want to show some on-body footage of this because I didn't do that in the last video, so I hope you like this short montage. So you may be wondering, why buy like a very old pair of shoes when you can buy a brand new one? It doesn't really make sense sometimes to buy something that's been sitting around or that's been used for so many years. And one of the main reasons why is because they're just cheaper overall. Unless it's like a Jordan 1 Chicago, most vintage shoes are going to be like well below $100. I paid $180 for these, but like brand new on GOAT, they go for $700 to $800. I don't even think you can find this size, honestly. So a lot of the times if you're buying vintage shoes, they're going to be cheaper. Another reason is just the nostalgia factor. There's just something about wearing a shoe that's old. It feels like it's part of history, so people are very drawn to that. I definitely am. I think it's unique to own a pair of shoes that's like half my age and it's just stood the test of time. Another reason why you might go vintage is because they might have a specific colorway that you're looking for, or even like a special release that they did maybe only like one time. And so like these, you don't see a lot of red and white shoes, especially not Dunks and Jordan 1s releasing. So a shoe like this and this silhouette and this colorway is pretty rare, and you're really only going to see it like every once in a while. So that's another reason why you might want to buy a vintage shoe. Now, if you're interested in buying these older shoes, here are some things to look for and to consider. First, you want to do as much research as you can. So, watch videos like this, learn as much as you can about the shoe that you want to buy, look for flaws, like that people have experienced with buying those older shoes if they have. If you're planning on wearing them, you definitely want to pay attention to the soles. I wish I had done that because you might look at this and think this is a pretty good sole, but on closer inspection you'll realize that there's no real texture on it. So definitely look out for the soles. If you can feel them in person, if the soles feel super hard when you press down on them, then they're probably going to be super uncomfortable, but that can be fixed in a step I will show later in this video. But yeah, definitely keep a look out on the soles, look for texture in it because that pretty much determines if there's grip. The next thing you want to look at is like the paint job of it. Is the paint wearing away or is the shoe just dirty? Sometimes it can be hard to tell through a picture, but just do your best, ask questions. If you can see it in person, then you can definitely tell whether it's just dirt and dust caked on or if like the paint just looks really bad. But paint is definitely something that can be fixed yourself if you want to, or if you want that beaten down look, that worn look, that is also appealing to some people as well. Lastly, you want to look at the materials used on the shoe. So this shoe is primarily leather. So leather is a pretty high quality material. It can stand the test of time and it can be repaired and taken care of pretty easily. So materials you want to look out for are suede and patent leather. Those are materials that, they look fresh right out of the box, but they, deteriorate over time, and it's hard to kind of bring that material back to life. I think you can kind of do it with suede if you use some different oils and like clean it pretty good, but patent leather, you're going to have a very hard time, getting it to look like it did when it first came out. So definitely be wary of that. So now I want to go in how to make these vintage shoes feel brand new or like as new as possible, freshen them up, bring more life to them. And the first way is to get new insoles. So if you put on the shoe and you feel that it's very uncomfortable, or maybe even it's not really your size, so you want to fill up some space in the shoe, then definitely go ahead and pick up some insoles. I picked these up for like $10 on Amazon, and I'm going to put them in the shoes right now. So replacing insoles is a pretty simple thing. All you're going to want to do is just take out the original one and compare it to the one that you have, and then just take like a Sharpie or something and cut off all the excess, or you can even probably just eyeball it and do it with scissors freehand. You can keep the original sole in there with the additional one to take out more space if you feel the shoe fits a little too loose. I think I'm just going to replace it entirely and maybe just keep these in case I ever sell them down the line just to preserve it. But you can see the difference in the thickness there. These are kind of worn out, and this also has like a nice gel, so I think these will improve the comfort a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and replace them. So I put them on. This shoe right here has the new insole in it, and this one has the default one. And right off the bat, they definitely feel a lot more comfortable with the new insole. I feel like the shoe with the regular insole in it, my heel is like making direct contact with the ground, like I can really feel the ground. But on this one, it's a lot softer, and I can feel that cushion and like a barrier in between it. It doesn't feel like I'm walking barefoot. But you know, time will tell. I'll have to like take these out and like actually walk around with them more. But these soles are definitely taking up like more space in it, so my shoe doesn't feel as loose in it. It feels more secure. And I know I can't really show it on camera like how my foot feels, but that's just my opinion on it. The next thing you want to invest in are some shoe trees. I picked up like a 5-pack on Amazon for like 10 bucks. These are adjustable and they're pretty good. And the reason why you want to get shoe trees is so that you can kind of restore and hold the shape of the shoe. You'll find that just putting these in and letting them sit for a couple of days or even, you know, weeks and just storing them with the shoe tree, it keeps the creases out and helps just maintain that shape and restore it. So yeah, this is just a very easy way to get creases out and maintain the shape without like, you know, ironing it. You can't do that or buying like the shoe stretch stuff and then applying a heat gun to it. This is a pretty low risk and just a great thing to have in general. The last thing that you can do that's pretty cheap is use these like anti-slip pads. I'm actually going to put them on right now and show you how they work. So as you can see, these things have no grip on the floor. They slip and slide. You know, I could probably moonwalk in them things. And that's just because, like, again, there's no traction. There's no texture on these soles anymore. They're not falling apart, which is good. But if we look at something like a Jordan 1, you know, we can clearly see the texture, especially in the toe box there. You see how there's texture there, and it's, like, completely smooth there. So, like, this won't slide, you know. If I take the shoelace out from the bottom. This is like a pretty stubborn shoe, whereas this thing will fucking slide for days. So all we're gonna do is just take some acetone isopropyl alcohol, just clean the heel, and then we're gonna apply the adhesive anti-slip on it, and that should fix the issue. Here are the anti-slip adhesive pads, and now I'm gonna cut them up and, you know, line up the shape as best I can, put them on, and then I'm actually gonna put the shoe on and like put a lot of pressure on it so that the adhesive bonds really well to it. So yeah, just to ensure that these adhesives stick, I'm just gonna, you know, dig my heels into the ground. You wear them around the house for a few minutes until I know and I'm confident that the pads aren't coming off. As you can see there, you can't really tell, I don't think. I'll have a side angle, but these should definitely help with grip. I can definitely feel my foot not slipping as much, but I'm gonna try to get these adhesives set in and then we will address how grippy they actually are. So I've let them sit for a little bit and I put pressure on them. And as you can see, you can't even tell that they're on there. Like if I do a flat angle, you can hardly even tell that there is like the grip on there. Now in terms of how effective it is, obviously it's not gonna be as good as like, you know, resoling the shoe, but like if I give it a little push, it doesn't move as much. And really if I dig into the heel, it is set in place. It does slide a little bit around because the whole front is like non-grippy, but like if I put pressure on the back and try to push, it does do a decent job of gripping to whatever surface it's on. I've seen another YouTuber do this. That's where I got the inspiration from, so shout out to him. So those are 3 really cheap ways to, you know, bring more life to your shoes. The other 2 things you can do are repaint them. That's going to be a little bit more expensive, especially if you don't have all the materials you need to do that. But, you know, if you want to get that dead stock look and just restore it and make it look brand new, that's pretty much the only way you're going to be able to do it. Cleaning and scrubbing can only go so far, but like actually repainting the uppers is going to make it look super, super clean. Another thing you can do and look into is whitening the soles. So these soles are kind of yellowed, which I really don't mind, but if you want those like white and icy soles, you can again invest money in like one of those icebox things, which like uses a grow lamp and tin foil. But I don't really have the time and money to, you know, get that set up and do all those things. So I would just look for shoes that already have a decent paint job. If you find, you know, a pair of Jordan 1 Chicago's for like $100 but are just beaten up, then, you know, it might be worth investing a couple $100s in some paint into a sole whitening contraption so that you can make those look as good as possible. So yeah, these are just kind of my thoughts. I hope y'all like this video. I definitely wanted to do a follow-up on these because I didn't really touch on a lot of this stuff in the previous video. So yeah, hope y'all like this one and stay tuned for more.
Filipino crew, know how I do. See me out in Raleigh, I be ballin' at my school.
He be ballin'.
Computer engineering, man, that shit is hard.
Real hard.
Ignoring all the side chicks as I'm strolling through the yard. Flipping on me like a tech deck.
Hey.
Shooting that 3, no I stay wet.
Hey.
Slush on y'all like